What's up, everybody? Derek Anderson, the DA. All right, check this out. So this one's interesting right here, okay? This post from Gina Carano. She was at the FanExpo Philadelphia, you know, one of these conventions where all the fans get to come out and meet their favorite stars. You can see her right here signing an autograph for this guy. Looks like she's actually signing a CARA DUNE photo. But she's at this convention and she posted this week, hey, thanks for showing up, Philly. FanExpo Philly was incredible. So she just put that up. You know, a lot of people in here, you know, saying, hey, thanks for coming, Gina. You're special and so nice to everyone. My niece loved the poster you signed to. Come back again. You know, people enjoy Gina Carano. I like the positivity that she has. She seems like she's always a very positive person. And sometimes we need a lot of positivity. So I've never understood the backlash against Gina Carano. It seems like that always comes from people that just want to see her in a certain way and not really take her at face value for who she is. They want to try to spin it around and make some kind of, you know, mountain out of a molehill if she says something. And it's like, okay, I didn't agree with that, so I'm going to blow it all the way up to Kingdom Come. That's always what it felt like to me when it comes to the backlash against Gina Carano, especially from Star Wars fans. You know, it seems like that's where it's coming from. But I saw this coming out next. This is on the Hollywood Handle. Gina Carano says she's still willing to return to the Star Wars franchise. All right, this is on a ScreenRant article that they picked up. And then when you go to this ScreenRant article, here's what this says. Gina Carano confirms she's still willing to work with Star Wars despite the $75,000 lawsuit. Speaking at FanExpo Philadelphia, Gina Carano has insisted she is willing to work for Star Wars again despite her lawsuit. All right, and you start to wonder, okay, wait a minute, how's this supposed to work out? You know, you got a lawsuit going up against them, but she's also saying she's still willing to work with Star Wars. These are the summary notes. Gina Carano assures fans there is no animosity towards Disney, and she is open to working with Star Wars again. Carano claims she only spoke out to inform people of the situation, and she is willing to move forward positively. The lawsuit seeks $75,000 in damages and possible rehiring, but Disney is currently invoking First Amendment rights. All right, so what did she actually say? Now, there's no actual quote in this article, and that really kind of frustrates me because if you're going to make this claim, ScreenRant, can we get an actual quote? In quotes, this is exactly what Gina Carano said, instead of maybe possibly you guys misunderstood it. But nevertheless, let's just kind of postulate this is indeed Gina's feelings. Until I hear differently, I'm just going to go with this and see what it says. According to Carano, there is no malice in her heart towards Disney. Speaking at a FanExpo Philadelphia panel, she discussed whether she'd be willing to work for Star Wars again, and she insists she has no ill will towards her former employers and would be happy to return. In fact, Carano claims she only started to speak out because she wanted people to know what was going on. All right, so this is interesting on a lot of different levels, okay? First of all, forget the believability for it just a moment, all right? I know a lot of cats, especially you guys, you're probably going to be like, man, I don't even believe she said that until we see an actual quote or we see some clip from the panel. A lot of you guys are going to not disbelieve it, all right? I'm going to lean on the glass half full, and I'm going to say, okay, yeah, Gina really said that, and she wants to come back. All right, cool. Let's just go with that and say that she is absolutely happy to return, as it says here. How is that going to come off to the Star Wars fan base? First of all, there's some of y'all I know that will say, Gina, never come back to Star Wars. The way they treated you, you should never, ever, ever think about coming back. You know, that's how some of y'all are going to feel. Now, me personally, I'm not one to tell somebody how they should treat their career. This is her career. She can come do whatever she want to do. You know, so if Gina says, yeah, I'm back. Okay, you're back. I support Gina Carano and what she wants to do with her life. She can come back and I'm all in. All right. And I'm not going to like reject her and say, oh, boo, Gina. No, I'm not doing that. All right. I'm not going to boo Gina because she decided to come back. A lot of y'all might. I'm not one of them cats. Now, that's number one. Number two, Gina Carano is kind of a lightning rod, right? You know, and especially in the Star Wars fan base. And just as many of y'all are pissed off that Gina is not in Star Wars and how Disney treated her, there's another half of the Star Wars fan base, you know, that are absolutely over the moon about it, and they love rubbing it in her face, right? Like if you go back to this Hollywood Handle article, right? You know, you still hear people like kind of mocking it. I'm still willing to date Beyonce. People can say a lot of things. They don't want her though. That's what somebody said. I think we reached the point where that's not going to happen. Disney be like, yeah, they blew up that bridge. All right, she ain't getting many other jobs. Like, people are kind of saying, nah, this not happening. But some people over at Disney definitely don't want her back. But a huge majority of fans, me included, would love to see Cara Dune return if they were going to do the Rangers of the New Republic show before they fired her. Now, ask the question. Right now, there's conversation being happening that Jon Favreau won't return. Jon Favreau's like, I'm out, I'm done. After this Mando and Grogu movie, I'm dusting my hands off of Star Wars. I'm finished with this shit, all right? They've been monkeying with my stuff. They've been messing with what my plans were after I saved the franchise, right? With Mando Season 2 and how they brought back Luke. A lot of folks say Jon Favreau is just done with this thing. But what if they said, all right, Jon, guess what, man? Go ahead and do your Rangers of the New Republic. Gina's back. Go ahead, she's coming back. You can have her, because that might be like an incentive for, hey, drop the lawsuit, Gina. Like this lawsuit that's going down right now between Gina and Disney, right? What is it here? $75,000 impunity damages. And she's also hoping for a court order that would force Lucasfilm to rehire her. So if she said, all right, check it out. Put me back in, give me my $75K, put me back in, the rest of the lawsuit is dropped. Or maybe just, hey, I'm just going to drop the $75K overall if you bring me back. Would this be enough for Disney to say, all right, we might get to keep Jon Favreau to continue to do what it is that he was doing, which was kind of working pretty good up until the point that we, interfered with it or whatever. Although, again, I think Jon signed his name to it, so I still blame Jon for that. But nevertheless, if they said, all right, Jon, we're going to get up out your hair and we just going to let you do what you was doing because we need Star Wars in a positive place. And if you want to do this whole thing with Gina Carano and this is going to keep you around, all right, Jon, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Maybe we drop the lawsuit, bring Gina back, and then she can go and do what she want to do. I think a lot of, fans would be all right with that. Like, okay, we get to see Rangers of the New Republic. All right, like this guy right here saying, okay, like Mr. Penguin 01 saying, yeah, let's do this. Let's get the Rangers of the New Republic cracking. But again, like I said, there's a other half of the Star Wars fan base that would absolutely blow a casket if this ever happened. All right. These are the people that were laughing at Gina, poking fun at Gina, writing Gina all the way off. Like half of me would just love to see the reaction from that crowd. All right, what would those people say? Oh, my God. I can only imagine how insane Twitter would be if that happened. You want to talk about one of the biggest stories that ever came out of Star Wars in the last 3 or 4 years, okay? Gina Carano returning, this thing would absolutely blow up on social media, and there would be a whole lot of cats with egg on their face, all right? That was clown. She can't get other jobs. Oh, Gina can't act, this, that, and the third. And all of a sudden now Disney's like, yeah, she's back. She's back. Because maybe they do it to keep Jon, Favreau around, or maybe they do it to keep the lawsuit, drop the lawsuit, or maybe both. But it's just a fascinating situation. So what do y'all think about this? I honestly don't know what to think. Is this real? Is this live or Memorex? Is this really what we're talking about? Gina Carano actually coming back? Gina's down with it, and a lot of us said, nah, Gina don't want to come back. They put that stuff in the lawsuit for whatever reason. There's no way in the world Gina wants to come back. But then you start thinking, like, if she has no ill will, and she's good, and she says, yeah, bring me back in, I'm down, then you start looking at Disney. All right, Disney, the ball is in your court. And a lot of people, we don't want her no more. But then you start thinking about everything else that's going on over there, not just the lawsuit, all right, which can grow bigger than $75K. I mean, there could be extenuating circumstances, especially if this thing gets to Discovery, and you got to open up all them emails, you got to open up all of those internal communications, and you get to see exactly what Disney wants. And Disney's like, yeah, we don't want all of this information getting out there, right? So if that's the case, and Gina's throwing this olive branch at him and saying, I'll come back, just give me my job back. What does Disney do? It seems like Gina's saying this with the lawsuit, with part of that being rehiring her. There could be a settlement out of court. Okay, you're back. We'll put it in writing. We'll write it all down. Ironclad, you're back. And now it's up to, Gina, and then, maybe they keep Jon Favreau around. I mean, this is so much that you could say on this situation, but I want to know what you guys think, if this is real or if this is just something that ScreenRant, because, ScreenRant ain't always the most reliable spot. But I mean, somebody else must have heard this if she said this at a panel, right? That's what they said here. She said this at a panel that she said, oh, yeah, I ain't got no problem. So other people clearly have heard this, and I would love to hear some confirmation of this. But yeah, you guys let me know what y'all think about this situation. I think this is fascinating, and it'd be interesting to see what happens. But go ahead, jump down in the comments, give me your thoughts and opinions on that. And thanks for watching. See you next time.